and the phone number. Please do it. That paper is being passed around, so please sign up your names with your email and phone number. Thank you. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I request, we have the books of Professor Ram Puniani displayed at the back. You are welcome to look at them, and also you can also get the copies if you like. So that is also available for you. As we begin this session, we have Father Dr. Arokyam Singharayar. He is a priest of the Society of the Divine Word. He served in pastoral ministry and in formation. Presently, he is in the staff of National Vocation Service Center. He is specialized in the field of clinical counseling and psychology. As a he was in Sweden University undertaking research in counselors' personality and effective counseling efficacy in 2017. And one of his research has been Be Positive to Creative Happiness. That was in 2018. His passion and interplay of multiple dimensions of human personality with the sole purpose of restructuring and initiating healthy human behavior for purposeful living. His mission goes on with the motto upholding the integrity and dignity of every human person. So, happy welcome to you, Father Dr. Arokyam Singharayar, to welcome and introduce Professor Selvamani.
Thank you, Father. Good morning to every one of you, fathers, sisters. It's my privilege to introduce to you Dr. Selvamani from Pune University. Dr. is an associate professor at the School of Medicine and the director of the John Paul Skinner Institute for Research into Dialogue for Peace at Pune University, Taipei, Taiwan. He holds a doctorate in molecular biology from the University of Queensland, Australia. His teaching and research focuses on science and religion and biomedical ethics. His current research focuses on Taiwan's Patient Right to Autonomy Act and artificial intelligence ethics. He is the author of Catholic Faith and Evolution, published in Pune University 2016. From 2019 to 2025, he served as the Dean of the Catholic Research Institute Academia Catholica. He is also a member of the Institutional Review Board and Ethics Committee at 3 hospitals in Taipei. Adding a personal note to this occasion, Dr. Selvamani and I have grown last 43 years together, and it's a great joy to see him. And at the moment, I also would like to say a word. Knowing him, he's a very intelligent person, and more so, is really an integrated person of great integrity. At this time, I also would like to introduce to you his wife, Mrs. Chai Teresa. Please stand. And so, on behalf of all of you, I welcome Dr. John Selvamani.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor and pleasure to be part of this wonderful celebration. And first of all, I congratulate Ishvani Kendra for the Golden Jubilee. And when Father Victor told me, he said, yeah, why don't you come and give a talk? I said, that's a very good opportunity to come here, because there's been about probably 20 plus years since I came here. And it's, as I said, it's a good memory to get back and meet friends and a lot of colleagues who have been working together. And as this morning, the Victor was saying that I'm supposed to give an international orientation. Sorry. to the whole symposium. And so I'm going to, and then probably not looking at me, you may not think that I'm Taiwanese, so I brought my wife as well, just to make sure that you all believe me, okay? And if there's any more questions, you can ask her. Okay? All right, so today I just wanted to think about this, the whole question of, one way is to introduce to you Taiwan and the whole situation, which not many of us would be aware of. The second thing is also to see how the Catholic Church in Taiwan has grown. In fact, the history of Catholic Church in Taiwan is very much linked to the history of Taiwan itself. And then my final part is basically to say that the Church in Taiwan should get involved in bringing peace to that region in a way. So that's my final one. So just to this way it's better. Okay, let me start with this particular question. Is Taiwan an independent country or a province of China? I'm sorry, boom, that's a world war, okay? So I'll answer the question at the end, yeah, or even in the middle of it. So that's the main question is it an independent country or a province of China? So let's quickly go into the history of this particular spot, particular territory there. It was an indigenous population for a long time. So in the 17th century, you had the Dutch. It mainly came from south. And the Spanish came in from the northern part of the country. Then in 1662, they all were chased out and the Ming dynasty took over. And then we had the Qing dynasty. The dynasty are from the China. Okay, so then the Japanese war, during the war, then the Chinese gave it away to Japanese. So it was a Japanese colony until 1945. At the end of the war, it was handed over. I mean to say handed over is like at the moment, technically speaking, we don't know whom do they handed it over. The Japanese just said, we have no authority over Taiwan, and then returned to the Allies. The Allies requested the Chinese government at that time to meet the Japanese and then receive it. So it looks like that was given to China, but not necessarily. Okay, so that's the one main point. So since then, but we are called the Republic of China. Okay. Now, in February 1947, in February 28, so assume that when it moved to China, the Chinese government, the Republic of Chinese government, moved the military to Taiwan to run the country. But then there was a tension between the local people and the outsiders as they came in. So a lady was selling cigarettes, and it was not allowed to sell cigarettes at the time because it was a monopoly of the government. So they confiscated the cigarettes, arrested the lady, but the people felt it was not right because a poor lady just selling cigarettes, why do you catch her? So people agitated and there was a revolt, and then we have so-called the February 20th incident where 20,000 people were killed by the so-called the Chinese troops, the local people. So we still call that day as a memory of it, say that a day of freedom. Yeah. So it's sort of like a day of peace, sorry. So it's a 2028, is 228, is basically a very memorable day for the Taiwanese people. Okay, so here I mention again the Taiwanese people. When I say Taiwanese people, it means the people who are living in that particular part of the world, okay? So the next one, quickly, the Taiwan was under martial law until 1987. Because we are still at civil war with the communists in the mainland China. So the Taiwan was basically called Republic of China, and then till 1987, it was under martial law, so no protest, nothing was allowed. Even religion was sort of like tolerated, but it was still in 1987. In fact, I went to Taiwan the first time in 1988, so just after the martial law. So at 8 o'clock in the morning when you go to school, we are supposed to stand for the flag hoisting, and then we are supposed to stand for the national anthem. And then in our university, in front was the statue of Chiang Kai-shek. Now we have a cross there. Okay? So that was the situation at the time. So then in 1990s, slowly they realized we cannot go back to China, so we started developing our own democratic reforms. So then, at that time, some of the remnants of the national government was removed, which means to say that we are having actually two governments. The communists have their own government in Beijing. In Taipei, we have a second government, which is called Republic of China government. And the legislators, the representatives of all the provinces in China were also present in Taipei. So we are like almost ruling like two different governments of the same territory. So when I went to learn Chinese, I didn't realize we had a president of Republic of China, we had a provincial of Taiwan. So I asked my teacher, so what is Republic of China? She showed me the whole map. That is Republic of China. And I asked her, what is People's Republic of China? The same map. And that is People's Republic of China. Okay, so now we get the picture. It's a one territory, two governments. One run by the communists, the other one by the nationalists. So the civil war never ended. So now we are talking about the war is basically the continuation of that civil war. So in 1996, we started to have that. Now let me give you a quick example of how Taiwan's identity itself is developing. In the beginning, we were called ROC, Republic of China. Later on, we became ROC in brackets, Taiwan. And now ROC is reduced to a small level, and then Taiwan is bigger. Okay, so we can see the transition of how things have been moving. One good example is the passport. Passport is something that we show it other people. So let me give you the first example. The three passports we have, 1977, 1980, and 1995. You can see the first one, it simply mentions passport of the Republic of China. In 1980s, it's the same, passport of the Republic of China. But when it comes to 1995, it says passport and Republic of China, and then in Chinese written Republic of China. Okay, there's no Taiwan in 1995. And then in 2006, you start seeing Taiwan at the bottom. So one of the reasons is that when we go to the immigration, people look at Republic of China. They think you are from China. But we said, no, we are from Taiwan. But there's nothing they're saying it is Taiwan. Because like for us coming to India, maybe the Chinese passport needs a visa. You'd apply for a visa. For us, we can get an e-visa. For a Taiwan passport, if you go to USA, you don't need a visa, you just walk in. But a Chinese passport, you need to get a visa. So they always look at that one and say, Republic of China, which means China, you need visa. He said, no, but there's nothing there in Taiwan. So that's why I added another one called Taiwan. But now, the recent one, only Taiwan is there in English. There's no Republic of China. Okay? So now where is Republic of China? It is actually inside that circle. Inside that circle is written in very small letter Republic of China. So almost you don't see it. So that is the identity that we have. Saying this is Taiwan. Okay. So let's get back to the original question. Is it an independent country or a province of China? Yes, the answer is Republic of China is a sovereign state, which is popularly known as Taiwan. Taiwan is an island and is a province of the Republic of China. Okay? So when you people say that Taiwan is an independent country, what you are saying is Republic of China. So do we have two China? No. We also follow the same called one China policy. So it's complicated. Yeah. It's ambiguous. And just as good Asians, we live with ambiguity. We don't have to explain things. There, people know that what we're talking about Republic of China, and people know what we talk about People's Republic of China, but we all still call one China. Okay, so that is the story of Taiwan. Right? And then in the Catholic Church, as I said, it follows that pattern away. So in 1626, when the Spanish Dominicans came from north. So this year is the 400th anniversary of the arrival of this Catholic Church in Taiwan. But they only stayed for 10 years. And they just left. They couldn't convert many people. Then the Spanish came after, close to 200 years later, in 1858, in the southern part of it. But in 1930, it was made as an apostolic prefecture of the Formosa. And 1948, there were only about 10,000 Catholics and about 15 priests. Okay, so what's the number? Then suddenly the story changes. The war ends, Taiwan territory goes back to Republic of China, and Republic of China, the nationalist government, nationalists are defeated by the communists, and the nationalists, under the leadership of Chiang Kai-shek, are moving into Taiwan, running away from the mainland China and into Taiwan. And they are bringing with them a lot of money, treasure, troops, and Catholics. So the priests, both foreign and locals, who are working in mainland China were removed, they were asked to leave. So they all left. Some of them went to Philippines, some of them went to different places, but eventually everybody reached Taiwan. So when we are reached in 1969, in short 20 years, we have 300,000 people, 800 priests, 7 dioceses. Okay, so the whole story is that the Catholic Church itself changed in Taiwan. And then we were called Chinese Catholic Bishops' Conference. And this Bishops' Conference is the Bishops' Conference of whole of China, not just Taiwan. Okay, so we're still in the same picture there. This is the first church that was there in called Wanshan Basilica. It's the first church being built in the 1870s. And then in 1970s, actually, the Catholic Church in Taiwan was a representative of the church in China. And in 1980s, we wanted to be a bridge church because we wanted to help the church in the mainland China. So to a certain extent, the church in mainland China didn't split up and things like that, mainly because the church was still in communion with the other one. So we still continue to support the other church. Right? But in 1990s, we started to help the local church. And then in 1998, the Bishops' Conference name was changed to Chinese Regional Bishops' Conference, which means to say we are almost settled in Taiwan. There's nothing to do with mainland China. So mainland China doesn't have an official Catholic Bishops' Conference. It only has their own Chinese Bishops' Conference, okay, which is a very different story. All right, so next. So today Catholics are only 1%. And then Holy See is the only European country that recognizes Republic of China. So there are about 17 countries, mainly from Africa, and a few countries from South America, who recognize Republic of China as the legitimate government of China. So they don't have a diplomatic relationship with PRC. Okay, so the number is going down, yeah, because China is giving pressure to all the countries. So the number is going down, but it's still a legitimate sort of entity. So now, from the beginning and then to today, where it became a war refuge to Asian tiger, it's a big transition. So it was a very hard work by the local government and also help from other places. So during the martial era time, where religious freedom was maintained with the supervision. You can't say too many things, but we have to keep it alive. Okay, the religion was allowed, but it was not there. But the Catholic Church was actively involved in social service. Because when the foreign aid, foreign help comes there, it was the Catholic Church which was helping the government to dispense all the social services. So the international character of the Catholic Church also helped the government, because ROC was becoming smaller. So they needed international sort of like a recognition. It's a Catholic Church which helped them to get that sort of indication. Here I want to mention two important people. One is Cardinal Paul Yuping. He was actually a cardinal in the mainland China, then they moved to Taiwan. So he was very actively involved in with the US government and Taiwan government and trying to help both parties. And we have our own, for the SVDs, the Cardinal Thomas Tien, who is actually the first Chinese cardinal. So he also was one of the leading members in a sense of like rebuilding the church or rebuilding the country as such. Right. So next, of course, we have various institutions that helped in that. We have the first a hospital, which is St. Martin, and the first university, Foreign Catholic University, and it's a old picture. Now it looks very, very different. So we were helping the social work in a moral way. So how we were involved is, basically we were only working social service, but no political involvement. So even though the country was in the martial law, there were a lot of human rights abuses, but church would keep quiet. Church doesn't want to do anything about it, because we are part of that political system. And then church wanted to say anything much, because we are all mainland Chinese people, so we all need to keep the social security, the national security, so martial law is necessary. So they tolerated many times, so that was more the situation at the time. And then next, we move on to the democratic period. In 1996, we were able to elect our own president. The President Lee Teng-hui was the first officially elected president in Taiwan. And now we have, and I know many of you from those areas will know about the Taiwan Parliament, where we throw chairs and pull people apart on the fight. That keeps going on. Okay, there are differences that still continues. It's a so very vibrant democracy. So it's very young, but still a vibrant in terms of like, at least in the body expressions of it. And the Catholic Church in Taiwan is very much close to the government in one way, because the president almost meets the missionaries every year. So we have Ma Ying-jeou, he was about 12 years as the president, and then like we have a that's Ma Ying-wen, another president of the Republic of China, who is also here with the So these are the presidents, both of them are really supportive of the Catholic Church's work in a way. And actually, the President of the Republic of China, every year, when the Pope releases the message of peace on the 1st of January, they always write a response to that one. So every year, the President of the Republic of China will publish a response to Pope's message of peace. Okay. So now the situation is, we also have a diplomatic relationship, so that we have the ambassador to Holy See, whereas the Holy See has downgraded the diplomatic relations, so we only have a churchly affairs in Taiwan. So he's the ambassador of ambassador of Taiwan to Holy See, and he's the vice president of former vice president of Taiwan. He's a very good Catholic. So he gets, and now the president of the Republic of China cannot go to Holy See in an official way. Yes, Holy See is a bit worried about China's reaction. So most of the time, he's the one who represents the president of the Taiwan to go there. Okay, so this sort of like a combinations in that one. Now, quickly, our relationship with the other religions is a very, very cordial, and we cooperate together. And here you have a picture of Cardinal Shan. He passed away, and both of them are from mainland China, but they are very good friends. So we have a very good relationship with the Buddhist community as well as Taoist community in the country. Now, at the moment, the church remains the same. Social service, yes. Public engagement in terms of it, no. So we don't want to talk much about the political issues of various things. And one of the way, so now the whole China this is the whole China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and Macau. And now the question is, either we have unification, we unify with PRC as a single one, or we go for independence. In a way, both of them are actually a disaster for us. Because unification means, we don't know what it means actually. The communists say they will follow Hong Kong system, one country, two systems. But as you know, they're already messing up with Hong Kong. So we don't believe them, okay. So unification is a disaster. Independence, no way, it's not possible. Because the Constitution of the Republic of China clearly says both the territories are single country. Unless we change the Constitution, we cannot change anything. But if you want to change the Constitution, next day you have the World War III. Okay, So that is the problem. So we can't go for independence. So we don't talk about independent Taiwan. So for us, it's called Republic of China, not Taiwan. So is the Taiwan independent country? No. Taiwan is a province of China. But which is China? Republic of China, not People's Republic of China. So we follow the one China policy. I always say yes, we are one China. And so what is the status? So we follow the status quo. What is exactly the status quo? In 1992, the nationalists and communists sat together and came to a consensus saying, we have one China, but each one explains the way we want. Then you see the ambiguity. Yeah. I'd say that one China, I'm Republic of China. You say one China, you are People's Republic of China, and we stay that way. But at the moment, the President Xi in the mainland China believes in one China. He doesn't talk about that we can explain in our own terms. He doesn't accept that one. So that's the problem. But in China, in Taiwan, we would like to keep the status quo. We would like to still live in that ambiguous situation where we can still use our passport, still we can move around, operate as if an independent country, but we still hold on to so-called one China policy. And then we don't want to divide into two countries called Republic of China and People's Republic of China. We just like to keep that way. But we don't know how long we can do it. But what's the role of Catholic Church in that? I think church can help. Because as I told you, the church was very much connected with the church in mainland China. So we have that bridge already. Second thing is we are an international organization. The Holy See is behind us, and the European countries will be behind us. So in a way, that church can really get involved in dialogue with the mainland China and go for peace. Talk about things that we can do together. We are true, we are Chinese, and we are one culture. We are brothers and sisters. But why not we just live like this? Even though a bit ambiguous, but we still live like that. So that's the way I think the church can really help us. But the challenges are there. First challenge is historical baggage, because we are part of nationalist party. So we would like to have the unification. Okay, we would like to go back to our mainland China in a way. So that is still there. Second thing is over 80% of the clergy and religious are foreign missionaries. We have visas. If you go anything with the government, next day you are out of the country. So we don't want to talk much. And our Chinese is not as good as you would expect. It's very difficult language. Okay. So even though I'm there for 25 years, I can still, I can go through a lot of things, and my Chinese is relatively good, yeah. But then still it's very difficult to catch the main nuances of the language. So we foreigners will find it very difficult to go deeper into that. And then finally, the lack of coordination. As you know, like during the war, individual priests, individual organizations came inside, and they started their own. Even now, they don't want to cooperate among themselves. Okay, it is mine and that's yours, so let's keep that way. That's another important problem in life. Okay, finally, the Taiwan's unique situation in today's geopolitical arena calls for the church to play a more active role in all aspects, including the political sphere. In this context, the church in Taiwan can collaborate with other religions and civil organizations in accompanying the people of this precarious territory on their own journey towards peace. So that's what I would say is like the Catholic Church can really help a little more on that. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. John Salomani. Now,
our beloved Bishop, Most Reverend Simon Almeida is here. We warmly welcome him with a loud applause. Please give a generous applause to him. Please, come this.
so to move on with what Dr. John Salamani shared with us, it's time for us to interact. I invite maybe 3 questions, one after another, so that we can interact well. So, anyone? Yes. Oh, okay. Yes, please. Yeah. Dr. Ram. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to check on one thing. What is the percentage of Buddhists in
Actually, the Buddhist is roughly about 12%. Yeah. And then equally the similar percentage of Taoist. But religion in Taiwan, for the Chinese people, will be, it's very difficult to designate either Buddhist or Taoist, because it's sort of mixed together. Of course, there are pure so-called Buddhists, pure Taoist, but for most of the people, these two are sort of like same in a way. So Taiwan itself has got a very indigenous religious practices, and that is also there. But people are very religious in terms of like spirituality and things like that. So that is there, but not specifically talking about the individual religions, and it will be more fluid rather than the specific.
Yes, madam.
You're aware generally that in the world there is an underground church
Yes.
in mainland China,
Yeah.
and there is a church in Taiwan. So, any from how they operate, how the underground church in China operates, the church in Taiwan.
Okay, but as I told you, in the church in China, the communists later on they decided saying that we have to regulate the whole thing, and then they started so-called patriotic association. So the Catholics or priests, bishops who will associate with the patriotic association, they are officially recognized Catholic Church. So there is an officially recognized Catholic Church that's called patriotic association. And those who don't agree with that one, don't want to join the patriotic association, they are also called underground church. But underground church is not really underground. If you go to Shanghai, you have a big cathedral, and mass is said, and bishop is there, but he's an underground bishop. Not officially recognized by the Communist Party. Of course, there's a trouble. He will be arrested anytime, he may put him anywhere there, but the underground church is that way. The church in Taiwan was linked to both of them. Okay, we have underground church, because they are officially the Catholic Church. And then the Patriotic Association, we also help them, both financially as well as in education. We have a set of our priests there to teaching their theology, so that they can be up to date with what's going on, the rest of them.
It's still an ambiguity.
Yes, but Pope Francis changed the system a little bit because of the agreement he made with the communist government, saying that they're recognizing our appointment of bishops. Okay, so it was only an appointment of bishops, in a way, but then the Communist Party uses that one as a ticket, saying to the underground church, see, your Pope has already agreed, so you are part of us. You have to join us. Of course, the underground church is very hurt. They feel that they've been faithful to the Pope so long, and now he goes with them. But I can also understand the Pope's necessity to regularize the whole patriotic church. We don't want to have a separate church hanging there. So it's again ambiguous and complicated. But I personally feel that the victims are the underground priests, bishops, and faithful, because they were keeping up that spirit in a way, and now they feel being betrayed. So that's their feeling in a way. Okay, Father John.
Yes, Father.
What's the role of America? You never mentioned anything about America, because people who never want to go to America and they are no problem. China is different, and always there is a tension between America and China.
Yeah, I mean, the Americans have been always with Taiwan, right from the beginning. I mean, Chiang Kai-shek, when things have improved, is mainly because American help. Okay, but one of the reasons why America helped is is mainly because the Korean War was going on at the time. So they didn't want the communism spreading still further. That was one of the reasons why the Americans helped Chiang Kai-shek. Otherwise, they would have just ditched him there, and then probably Taiwan would not be there. I will not be here to talking about Taiwan. But then, they sort of like, at the moment, still it is said. The United States has got a special Taiwan Act, which means to say that any event of situations, the US has got a responsibility. But we don't know what type of responsibility. Is it military or financial or something? It is still there, even under Trump. But with the Trump, we are not very sure what would be the role. Yeah, that's the difference. But the United States policy, even though it's a one China policy, but they have another one called the Special Taiwan Act, Relations Act. And that act actually is been renewed even recently, which means to say that US has got set a responsibility towards Taiwan in case of attack from China. Yeah.
So we last one question, 3 minutes left. So, yeah, yes, please.
Thank you for enlightening us. I would just like to know, Vietnam and Taiwan have deep cultural roots. I have reason to believe that Vietnam is having difficulty in implementing African guidelines on LGBT. Is there such problems with that?
No, I mean, like, it's sort of like saying Vietnam again is the same, like being a communist party, so they're still talking about, the Holy See is still talking with Vietnam to have a regularized diplomatic relationship and various things. It's a very positive move from there. But Taiwan was never affected by that because we always had been with the Holy See. So at the moment, Taiwan is the official Chinese representative for Holy See. So Holy See doesn't have any diplomatic relations with the mainland China. So Vietnam, yes, we have a culturally certain link, but in terms of church, I don't think we have a very strong connections because we are still a free country with a diplomatic relationship with Holy See. So that's a very different.
So last one, your question. Yeah.
We see Indian Christian population is growing at a faster rate in China.
Yes, if you're talking about mainland China, yes. Actually, mainland China's Catholics in China are growing. Yeah, because mainly because of the patriotic association by their country. So that still grows. So because it's open, but there are always red lines. You can talk about religion, you can talk about your faith, but don't get into social action, things like that. Yeah. So whenever we have conferences together, we are allowed to go there, we talk about theology, we talk about philosophy, but you should know where the line is. Yeah. We are always especially when you have something with the mainland China, we inform the authorities, we give them the list of the speakers and everything, they go through it and make sure that everybody's okay, and then we are allowed to talk about it. And always warn us that, yeah, that line is there. But at times it's very difficult because only Xi Jinping knows where the line is. Yeah. So that is the problem. Yeah.
Okay, so with that, we come to a conclusion today. Peace is the anthem that we would like to sing and cherish every day. The first speaker speaking about peace is brought about by our constitution. Second speaker talking about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And now he speaks about church, though ambiguously present strongly, has a vision to bring peace in Taiwan. Thank you, Dr. Selvamani, for your presentation and inspiring us. Thank you, everyone.
We are very miserly with our applause, I think. Can we give a live round of applause? We are indeed very happy and pleased that our shepherd, Bishop Simon, Most Reverend Bishop Simon Almeida is present with us. I call upon Father Victor Sainz Zacharias to introduce Bishop Simon Almeida and welcome him. Yeah, please, Bishop, please come forward.
Dear brothers and sisters, it is with great joy that I would like to introduce to you Bishop Simon Almeida, recently appointed as the Bishop of Pune by His Holiness Pope Leo XIV. Born on 4th November 1960 in Ghaz, Batori, that's Bazin, Vasai, Bishop Simon's journey has been marked by quiet dedication and faithful service. After his schooling in Nirmal, he entered the minor seminary in Pune in 1978 and was ordained a priest for the Diocese of Pune on 1st April 1990. Gifted both pastorally and academically, His Grace holds degrees in psychology and sociology from the University of Bombay, along with advanced pastoral studies from Manila. Over the past 35 years, His Grace has served as assistant parish priest in several vibrant Catholic communities, rector of the minor seminary, and financial administrator of the diocese. He has also served the wider Indian Church, particularly in the western part, as the deputy secretary of the Western Regional Bishops' Council until his appointment as a bishop. Most recently, he was the parish priest of St. Joseph Church, Gorpudi. And today, for this event, grace-filled event, we welcome our shepherd amidst us with gratitude, hope, and prayerful support. And dear Brother Simon, on behalf of Ishvani Kendra community and all the esteemed guests present in this Zyklad Hall, we extend to you a very, very hearty welcome, dear Bishop. Over to His Grace for this message.
Getting used to all these accessories, this was forgotten. I bring it here. It was not required anyway. Dear brothers and sisters, I think this is a synodal interfaith greetings. All of us are brothers and sisters at this gathering. I'm thankful to Father Victor Zacharias, SVD, the director of Ishvani Kendra, and his team for inviting me to be here to be part of this celebration and symposium. I also feel honored to be with all the distinguished scholars here and you, my dear brothers and sisters. The celebration of Golden Jubilee is a great milestone for Ishvani Kendra, and I am happy that the theme of the day chosen is Missio Dei Today, religions journeying together for peace. And this is the theme that has been assigned to me to deliberate on. This is only an address and not a talk or speech, so do not ask me any questions. While our rituals, scriptures, and languages may differ, the essence of all religious teaching is compassion. Whether we look
to the golden rule to treat others as we wish to be treated, or to the mandates of mercy and justice found in every major tradition, we find a common map for this journey. As noted by global leaders, interfaith harmony is not just something we do, but something we are. We are the bridges of peace. I refer here interfaith dialogue rather than interreligious dialogue. Not much difference, but there is a slight difference, as was mentioned to us by the recently appointed Cardinal who co-occurs at the CBCI. While both may sound same, yet there is a slight difference. It often used interchangeably to describe interactions between different faiths. Interfaith typically emphasizes collaboration, common goals, and positive relationships between people of different faiths, while interreligious is often used in academic or formal contexts to describe deeper theological study, dialogue, or comparison between religious traditions. Speaking to the bishops at the general body meeting of the CBCI, Cardinal George, recently appointed prefect of the Vatican Dicastery of Interreligious Dialogue, defines interfaith dialogue as respectful, collaborative, working together. He views it not as a compromise of Catholic identity, but as a necessary proactive path for peace, fostering relationships and understanding commonalities. The key aspects of the Cardinal co-accord's approach include, firstly, focus on relationship, not doctrine. He emphasizes building trust and fostering good relationships over debating doctrinal differences. He suggests enlarging the circle of friends and foster relationship with the high-profile persons. Secondly, peace-building initiative. He views dialogue as a necessary condition for peace and a tool for addressing global issues like poverty and conflict. Thirdly, respectful witness. He advocates for bearing witness to one's faith while respecting others, rejecting stereotypes, and encouraging face-to-face understanding. And finally, the active engagement. He advocates exemplary leadership and emphasizes the need for religious leaders to work together, especially in addressing environmental, social, and technological challenges. The statement issued at the 37th General Body meeting of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of India, CBCI, entitled A Call to Live Our Identity as Authentic Christians and Responsible Citizens of India, has emphasized that in context of polarization and mistrust, we maintain the Church's calling to foster dialogue, reconciliation, and fraternity. The Christian faith has always inspired us to seek the way of forgiveness whenever we have been deprived of human dignity and rights. We take upon sustained interreligious dialogue and civil society engagement, standing in solidarity with all those who face injustice and exclusion, and working together for peace, social harmony, and the protection of human dignity. And I quote the following quotations, which in fact speaks about peace, the aspect of peace. Christianity, the quotation from Matthew chapter 5, verses 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. This highlights that peace is not a passive state, but an active role. Those who make peace are doing divine work. Islam, O mankind, indeed, we have created you from male and female, and made you peoples and tribes that you may know one another. This suggests that religious and cultural differences are not meant for conflict, but are intentional gifts to encourage mutual understanding and knowing one another. Hinduism, meet together, speak together, let your minds be of one accord. May your aim be common and your assembly be of common purpose, taken from Rig Veda. This ancient Vedic prayer emphasizes the power of collective deliberation and and shared intent as the foundation for peace. In Buddhism, this is my simple religion. There is no need for temples, no need for complicated philosophy. Our own brain, our own heart is our temple. The philosophy is kindness. Taken from the quotation from His Holiness Dalai Lama. This quote simplifies the complex journey of religion into a universal language of human kindness, which any person of any faith can walk. And finally, Baha'i faith, so powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole earth. This quote reminds us that light of their togetherness is enough to overcome the shadows of global conflict. In conclusion, my dear friends, may we leave this place not just with words, but with courage to be artisans of peace, uniting what is divided and distinguishing the fires of hatred with the cool water of understanding. Interfaith dialogue is a way of life and a journey of the heart. Thank you, and may peace prevail on our shared journey.
Thank you very much, dear Bishop Simon, for your inspiring message, quoting from various scriptures, drawing our attention, our mind to the single pursuit of peace as brothers and sisters. And Bishop's calendar is really full. Just he had a long hours of diaconate celebration at the DNC, and still he made time to be with us. And then heavy hectic afternoon as well as the evening, not only today, in the coming days. In spite of all this, Bishop has taken the trouble recognizing the importance of our center and to be with us and to give his message. So we are really deeply grateful to you, dear Bishop, for making adjustments and being here. Let's once again put our hands together. Though Bishop said he cannot answer any question, don't ask. Since he's a new bishop, if anyone just wants to say something, not a question about it, any compliment or anything, you are welcome. Just a couple of minutes. Oh, wonderful. Yeah. So, Professor Ram, on behalf of the gathering, expresses his congratulations for Bishop. Thank you, Bishop.
Questions, our second meet.
Thank you, Bishop.
All the questions.
Okay, so this is indeed the first visit of Bishop Simon Almeida after taking charge as the shepherd of Pune Diocese. Once again, we sincerely and with a heart full of gratitude, thank you. Right now, we have a group photo to be taken with all the participants along with our bishop and the distinguished speakers. We move to the ground of Divine Word Seminary for a group photo and then come back immediately for the next session. Okay? So we'll be back here by 12 o'clock. Please move to our photographers will guide you. Please move to the ground of Divine Word Seminary basketball court. Thank you.
You have to wait.